she got murdered in this house.
Morning sun on the station wall.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope that you all have been great, and yeah, today's video is going to be something different to this channel. So I basically want to make a video. I know that I've shown you many different places and spots in Wellington, in my hometown, but today I actually decided to walk on foot and to show you a bit more of Wellington. And yeah, and then you can get a bit of a glimpse and a view of what the Wellington streets looks like. And yeah, I'm going to do it on foot. So smash that like button and let's do this. So as you walk from where I live, there's a little park. As you can see, it's a little playground for children, and I've actually been on that one. Yeah, so it's kind of fun actually. Even if you are an adult, it's sometimes fun to do stuff like that still. Alright, so as you walk from, there's the park that I came from, and then you see the beautiful mountains of Wellington, and this is the Hoogevlei Road. So over there is Huguenot High School and all of those places. So yeah, I'm actually now going to walk, just going to pass the street. So this street that I am in right now, I think this street should actually be the main street of Wellington. So this is Bain Street in Wellington, and in this street is also where my favorite coffee shop is. So that place over there used to be the ACVV Dienscentrum, and that place was where the ACVV was located. So those of you who are not familiar with the ACVV Dienscentrum, that was a place that used to be a place where the older people could go to for knitting and that type of thing. It's basically a come together community. Across the street is Fake Coffee. So this is normally the place. This is normally the place that I also sometimes go to for coffee. Fate Coffee Shop, also a very good coffee shop. Alright, there's a groom and a hair and beard place. There is also a hair studio place, and then a Wellington Osoon Clinic, skoonheidssalon, beauty salon. There's a gym, and that person just waved at us, so that's kind of nice. And now I'm going to show you my favorite spot in town, my coffee shop. It's not my coffee shop, but my favorite coffee shop in town, which is 55 Croissants. And this is my favorite coffee shop in town, 55 Croissants, or as it is today known as 55 Curbside Cafe. This is where I go once a week at least, and also most of the weekends as well. So definitely when you are in town, this is like my number one to go spot in town. And this is the Spruit Rivier. However, I think that there's not actually water in it at the moment. Now this street, in this street, it's called Milan Street, is where my grandparents used to live. It's crazy sometimes to think that the one moment you actually visit someone at a house where they used to live, and then the next moment things happen circumstances change, and then it just becomes a memory. And this is the well-known Church Street, where all the shops are located, and that building over there used to be a college where well, it's still a college, Huguenot College, and I actually used to study there as well. So here's the college, Huguenot College, and then in this street is also one of the coffee shops that I visited in one of my videos called Die Skutter. So on one of my previous videos, you will see I did a video about Die Skutter. Huguenot College, 1907. This is Huguenot College, a very, very famous and historic college in Wellington. As you can see, 1907. So I know that this used to be, before it was a college, it used to be a school, a high school only for girls. And in this very same college, my grandmother actually also went to school here, back in the day, obviously. So yeah, and I went to this college as well. Very nice college. I have to say, I can actually highly recommend them. So I know back in the day when I actually went to this college, then the courses more or less was community development, which is a course that I did. I also think there was something like a caregiving course or something like that. And then a few years actually after I finished at the college, they implemented the social work degree. And then this building over here is actually part of Huguenot College, that building over there. I actually think that they can make horror or scary movies in there or do like ghost hunting stuff. But up until today, like also back in the day, it catched fire, and it was actually student accommodation, and it catched fire, and yeah, up until today, it's actually still abandoned. This over here is Wellington Museum. So yeah, unfortunately there's like fencing all over, but this is the museum, and this was actually the I think this was the second or the third place that I visited with my exploring stuff. So there's the entrance. Yeah, this was like the second or the third place, if I can remember correctly, on my channel, that I've explored. So I mean, that's almost, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. This place over here is O'Bain, so it's also a coffee shop. Perfect place. And a different coffee shop used to be here, but now today it's O'Bain. O'Bain Coffee. Mission accomplished. I got myself a nice iced coffee from Virai. I have to say that their iced coffees are also actually very good. Um, so yeah, it's very refreshing after this walk. This is Berg Street. So you get Bain Street and then it's Berg Street. Um, but this street is also actually very interesting. Actually, I like these are the two streets in Wellington that I like, Bain Street and Berg Street, because Berg Street have the houses are almost like small mini farms. I have my K-way backpack to help with carrying water, stuff like that with you. And Yeah, so it comes in handy when you do walks like this. Like I said, I may be, because Wellington is quite huge, and I may be like splitting this video into different parts. Um, yeah, just to show you, a bit of Wellington and the interesting places. I'm not going to show everything, but I'm going to try to show as much as I can on foot. I just thought I'd share this. Twist neat. This was actually when I was in primary school in Huguenot in Wellington. Um, this was a place where one of my classmates, they lived in this house. I don't know if it was their house, probably, but anyway. So they lived in the house, and one morning the teacher actually told us that um, they just got news that when her mother dropped her off at school, it was early in the morning still, and then just when she came back, there were intruders in her house, and yeah, she got murdered in this house. But it's actually a beautiful property. I mean, just look at the house, look at it's almost like there's like a big yard as well. But anyway, today, long story short, today, Twisnit is a bed and breakfast and a private function venue. So, with that being said, I'm not trying to scare you off or anything. It's just something that happened. But yeah, I see now that I walked past here and I saw that it's now a bed and breakfast and also a private function venue.
Hoping I keep walking through Wellington like I'm reading a letter line by line. Every corner, every cafe front spells a story I didn't know was mine.